I just love black water tanks. They are very atmospheric, really beautiful, and really easy to maintain. So today I will show you how I built another one. And this one had a big plot twist that I really didn't expect. So stick around to see what was the end result. Let's get started. This is the tank that I will be using for this build. It's 40 by 26 by 26 centimeters and holds around 27 liters of water. On top of the tank I am placing some generic LED light. It's only 6 watts, but this is okay because this is going to be a black water tank. Okay, first of all, look in here. I have this big beautiful piece of driftwood. I had to soak it for a while because it was quite light and was just too buoyant. See? It still floats a bit. And just look at the details and texture of it. I think it will be great piece for hardscape for this tank. And look how it fits in there. It's like it was made specifically for the tank of that size. And with that one move, half of the work on the hardscape is done. Before I move on with this build, I wanted to fit the filtration. Because this wood is quite big, I wanted to avoid any surprises and just fit the filtration from the start. Next thing to do was to stabilize this wood and make sure it doesn't float in the tank. So what I did was I took this big rock and glued it at the back of this wood. To connect them both, I used the combination of cotton pads and cyanoacrylate glue. Just like that. And after a few minutes, it's all rock solid. And don't worry about those ugly white pads because they are not visible from the front. Once the wood is inside and secured, I can put some sand inside. It's quite messy for now, but it's because I was washing the sand and it sticks to everything. But don't worry about this right now. It will all clear out once I put the water in. And now some river rocks for extra detail. I always start from the bigger ones and move to the small ones. This makes the entire build to look more natural. Okay, I think we are slowly getting there. Still a little dirty, but just wait a minute for the end result. Before I move to planting, I need to do one more thing. You see, at the back, I made the sand layer a little thicker. This is because I want to put some clay balls under the sand. I do that because there are no nutrients there, and I want to plant few plants in that area. So, I take 3 balls, place them on the sand, and then push them down with my finger. And because the sand is still wet, those holes will stay like that. And this is exactly when I will place my plants. It's easy and it's very helpful. Okay, we are ready for planting. I prepared few plants in advance. I took them out of their pots, cleaned the roots, and divided into smaller portions when necessary. There are always few plants in those pots and they will grow much better once you spread them. I will start planting from Java fern. Just look at it. This one is so nice and healthy looking. I will use it right there to cover the filter. And it fits here just perfectly. We are not even halfway there, but I'm liking this already. Next on the list is this Anubias. I'm placing it behind the main wood piece, but of course I'm just attaching it. I'm not covering it with sand because Anubias needs to have its rhizome exposed. That is it, just perfect. And now I can use those holes to plant some crypts. Now you can see how useful it was to leave them. I know exactly where are those clay balls, and I can just take the smaller portions of those crypts and place them in one of those holes. Crypts are the only plants in this setup that actually go into the substrate. And this is why I place those clay balls there, so they have some nutrients under their roots. And I like how the filter is barely visible at this point. To increase the variety of plants and include even more details, I will glue few small Anubias plants directly on the wood. This is a great way to make this tank look more interesting and complete. And here, this is the spot that is just begging to have some detail on it. Perfect, isn't it? Yes, I love the one at the end. We are almost done, but it's time to move it into its place, fill it with water, and work on some final details. And here we are. Water looks a bit murky, but this was expected from that huge piece of wood. To complete the planting part, I'm adding few floating plants from my other tank. I do that to kickstart the cycling process, because those roots are full of beneficial bacteria already. And here we are. You might have noticed something about those plants. All of them are the types that require very little light and are all slow growing. You need to consider that during your planning process when you are selecting plants for your black water builds. To complete this look, I have to do one final thing. Boil some water and add elder cones and beech leaves into it. Look at those cones. See how quickly they are releasing tannins into the hot water? I will use both colored water and those cones. And I will do the same with beech leaves. And after a few hours, I can place them inside. I don't have to arrange them or anything, just put them on the sand and they will find their own place. And finally, I pour the water from the mug. And we are done. I'm really happy with how it turned out. But what I didn't expect was this little guy. You see, I had very different plans for this tank because it was supposed to be my new breeding project. And I meant to put here those guys. But suddenly I got the hold of this beta. You see, he is sick and has a problem with his swim bladder. You can see that he has some difficulty swimming properly and he's laying on his side quite a lot. This is not good. I was afraid that the owner would just get rid of him. So I just took him instead, because I had that tank ready and I will just try to save this gorgeous fish. It's actually quite perfect for him. So it's not very big, but it's a good size for a beta. It's quite shallow comparing to the other tanks of its volume, and this is again just perfect for betas. They love a lot of tannins, they love a lot of swimming plants, so I think I just got lucky this time. So there you have it, my new Blackwater beta tank. I really don't know if this is going to work, but I just had to try. If you have any suggestions on the treatment that worked for you, please let me know in the comments. I remade this video just before publishing, so there is still time, and any suggestions are really appreciated.